so much, Papa Cole. I must say, William Butler, he said something that literally I think about all the time. And he was saying how education is not merely the filling of a pail, but it's the lighting of a fire.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were going through your presentation, I was thinking of the fires that the information that you were sharing was lighting my fire. So I can only imagine the fires that are being lit in the guests that are partaking of this information. That was a very powerful presentation. And I was sitting here, I was like, we know all about the diaspora, right? We know all about the diaspora. But I was sitting here resonating with myself, okay, in what aspect of the diaspora do you find yourself? So that was powerful. Thank you so much for that. And look, that was amazing. That was amazing. So thank you. Also, if we have anyone who has joined the conversation within the last few minutes, maybe you joined while Papa Cole was presenting, please let us know where you are connecting from. Let us know where you are connecting from, and we would love to just acknowledge you. So as we continue on in this program and in this seminar, I hope that you all are taking really, really good notes. I hope that you all are finding an area where you are able to make a difference in the real estate market altogether. So real estate is good. You know, building a house is really nice. But long term, what are your goals when it comes to real estate? What are your goals when it comes to investing? What are your goals when it comes to buying or purchasing in Ghana, right? So that's why we are highlighting these opportunities, not just in real estate and not just in project management, property management, but also opportunities that extend far beyond real estate as well. At the end of the day, it's all about an economic move. It's about a kingdom move. So I'm super excited about our next guest. It's none other than the Makeda Smith. I'm super excited to have her on so that she can bring in all this knowledge that I know will also be insightful as well. Thank you, Papa Cole. Thank you for joining us, Makeda. We're super excited to have you here. So I'm going to go ahead and let you all know about Makeda. If you're not aware of her, I promise you, like I said earlier, you will know of Makeda Smith. So Makeda, she is an international business consultant and real estate broker of over 20 years, y'all. She is disrupting international territories by helping agents and investors in multiple countries buy, sell, and travel worldwide. Makeda Smith, she is the CEO and the founder of Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, which is a global real estate network for real estate professionals and business owners looking to diversify their income portfolio across multiple continents, countries, and currencies. Yes, you can make multiple monies in multiple currencies and countries. She is an international speaker. She's a visionary and a global business consultant, taking brands globally in North America, the Middle East, Africa, Asia, Latin America, and Europe. With the exponential growth of Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, Makeda and her brand have been featured in press and media outlets such as the Chicago Tribune, Fox 32, Sheen Magazine, Fox Soul, X on the Code, the cover of Hope Magazine, and so many more. Makeda, she is the curator of the renowned annual conference Licensed and Unbothered, which has now become her international real estate and business retreat, which gained notoriety for exposing attendees to expert hotel owners, private money lenders, traditional lenders, real estate investors, lawyers, financial advisors, brand strategists, marketing gurus, master coaches, team leaders, broker owners, top producing agents, celebrity influencers, and more. Pretty much anyone you want to know, right? So Makeda and the Savvy Chicks brand, they help real estate agents and investors to explore business opportunities in countries in Dubai, Indonesia, Ghana, Greece, Egypt, Kenya, Maldives, the Dominican Republic, and much, much more through real estate investing, sales transactions, and relationship building. Without further ado, Ms. Makeda Smith. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chrissy, for introducing me to the audience. Thank you for reading my bio. I'm always like, okay, what have I done? Like, what's going on? I appreciate it. Thank you, MoreCribs, and to our previous speaker, thank you for the knowledge when he was talking about how do we get like more people involved in like the real estate community? How do we attract more of the diaspora? It is through education. It's educate, educate, educate. And so if you follow me on social media or any of my platforms, that is all that I do and talk about. Is all about education. And so today, I want to switch gears a little bit to talk about how you can build multiple streams of income in Ghana, around the world, through real estate and then also other business opportunities. So our company is called Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, but the word savvy means that we are looking at all opportunities to be able to make income from around the world. When I first went to Ghana, it was in December of 2024. And I learned about how people were coming from the US over to Ghana. And not only did they start their real estate business or invest in real estate, but they also opened up restaurants. And so I was like, that is like really dope to come from one country where you had a restaurant and to be able to take that same skill set into another country. And so I just was able to learn a lot. And then even from the local Ghanaians that was on the ground, I was also learning about agriculture and how some had palm oil, had cocoa bean farms. And so there's so many opportunities to be able to earn income. I watched as we went on a tour, I think it was over in Kumasi. They showed us a cocoa bean and how they were able to turn that into 10 different products, y'all. So that is multiple streams of income from one source, and that was a cocoa bean. So if you are on this call, regardless of what country you're on, you're going to hear something that's going to spark the dreams and visions that you already have that God has given you to find out, like, how can I 10x this? So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. I am Makeda Smith, 20 years in the business, CEO and founder of Savvy Chicks in Real Estate. These are all the publications that we have been in. I always put this here just to add to my resume and credibility, because in these international streets, sometimes you don't know what brand to trust. And so I want to make sure that I lead with integrity and that I lead with a footprint that I already have in media. Next slide, please. Okay, so we'll get right into it. Building in Ghana. Before I got to Ghana, people ask me, how did I go international? International was not anything that I was thinking about, but it was something that God was preparing me for from the moment that I got my license in 2004 here in the United States. I had no idea that 20 years later, I will be leading a movement of real estate agents and affiliates that are selling real estate in multiple countries. I had no idea that I would be taking people to multiple countries and that people will actually follow me to these countries to find out more about international real estate and different business opportunities. But just like, people always talk about, if God was to show you the entire process, we might just say no. We might just say no because we don't want to go through the pruning and the paring to get to where we are. And so here I am today with this also added to my resume, where we went to Bali, took about 16 women. That was their first time going to Bali, Indonesia. It was my second time, but I was like, I want to share this international experience, because when you get outside of the country, you're able to expand your mindset. And one thing that I do know for sure is that God told Abraham to get outside of your country. Had Abraham not obeyed, he would not have had his mind blown wide open to all the possibilities that resided outside of his father's house. And when you look at, again, the faith of it all, in Hebrews, it talks about how that Abraham went not knowing where he was going. And so some of you that are on this call, I want you to think about that on this journey. You may not know where you're going. You may not know all of the answers. The treasure map may not be built out to show you all of the bullet points to get to the treasure measure, but you have to get on the map in order to get to where you're going. You have to move your feet to get to where you're going. You may have to drive, you may have to walk, you may have to go by bus or train, but make sure you begin to move. Okay, so Bali, Indonesia. And then from there, we had our first conference, Licensed and Unbothered, in the Dominican Republic. We normally have it in Chicago, but that year it was our 5th year anniversary. And somebody said, Makeda, think about going international. And that's exactly what we did. We went from there to Egypt, to Dubai. And then in 2023, December of last year, almost our 1-year anniversary, we went to Ghana. And Ghana was such a spiritual experience that I cannot put into words. but just being enthralled in the culture and seeing people that, you know, look like you, no matter where you went, from the police to the airport to the grocery stores, on the street, everywhere, people looked like me. And then people saw how much fun we were having. They said, Makeda, we want to go back to Ghana with you when you go. And so we repeated a trip, and we went back in February. And you see us standing there with the ladies. They wanted to view real estate. So we did just that in September of this year. We just came back from Dubai and Maldives. We had breakfast at Tiffany's, so creating experience for people to be able to enjoy in these other countries. Then we went to Greece in April of this year, looking at more real estate and how people were taking multi-family homes, kind of like a concept that you have here in the United States, and they were flipping. So the developers in Greece were taking multi-family buildings, flipping them into condominiums. So you buying a building, let's say it has 8 units, 6 units, but now you're going to work with the government to change the building type to from multifamily to now condominiums, and now you're going to sell each individual one. They already have the structure, and so I was blown away that they had the same concept. Next slide, please. Okay, so before I go, I want to talk about this little picture on the side. Please keep time for me, y'all, because I can talk, but I'm going to try to go fast. On the side, you see me with my, I think it's called a gilet. Forgive me if I don't say it correctly, but look, lady Daisy, if I don't say it correctly, just drop it in the chat. But I had that on, and before I even got to Ghana, y'all, this was, I think, maybe my 47th birthday. And I was like, I want to do some type of campaign. And so I tapped into my girl who does marketing, and she was like, your name is Makeda. Makeda means greatness. It's actually an Ethiopian name. And she was like, let's do some type of queen campaign. And I was like, oh, I like that. So I went to an African store here in Chicago, got my African dress. So I bought 2 of them. And then I had my head tie, and I just took pictures. Y'all, this was before my foot even touched the soil of Africa. Before I even made it to Ghana, God had already downloaded a vision into me sitting with my name. So before I was formed in my mother's womb, before I knew that I was going to be a Makeda, God knew that my footprint would touch the soil of Africa and that I will return home. And so I had no idea. So I want to let you know today, the movements that you are making today is preparing you for your future. 3 years later, here I am selling real estate in Ghana, y'all. And then I'll be in Ghana in 3 weeks again with another group of people, showing them for the very first time what it's like to be in Africa. So just wanted to add that on. So my objective today is to make sure that we understand some of the challenges that are facing people that are moving abroad. Since we had our election, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but since we had our election, they said that the search for moving abroad went up 1,000%. 1,000%, the search for moving abroad went up on Google. And I was like, I saw all these years that I have been talking about international real estate. Now people are ready, y'all. They are ready to move abroad. And so we have to have platforms like this that MoreCribs is putting on to educate people about moving abroad. So I'm even excited to hear from the real estate attorney myself. So because I have questions, and I'm sure that you do as well. But one of the things when I got into this market, I saw how people were saying that they went over to Ghana and other countries, and some had to return home because they did not think about the fact that, oh, I'm going to move over to Ghana and I'm going to get a job and be able to have the same income to come in that they were getting in the States. But if you look at the currency exchange and the currency rate, you see that the US dollar, which is 1, is 12 of CDs. And so if you are used to earning a certain amount in a country, let's say like the US, and you're going to a country where the dollar or their one currency may be lower than a dollar, you have to account for that. You have to put together a financial plan if you are looking to move abroad. And so we're going to talk about remote work, get an employment, because even when I went over in December and we were touring multiple real estate projects, they were also seeing how they were paying some of the locals more than what they were normally making. Because when I heard that an individual on average, now I don't know if it's the same today, but back then it was between $150 to $200 USD. I forget how much that was in CDs, but it had to be, it wasn't anything that we were like, oh, we can survive on that. It wasn't like that. So I want to talk about being a business owner and just entrepreneurships. Next slide, please. And so you can begin to screenshot, write these down. But the reality check is that you need to consider your cost of living and break that down. You also need to consider, what is housing going to look like, whether you're going to rent, whether or not you're going to buy. What does that actually look like for you in investing in another country? What are the average utilities? What are the groceries? What is the transportation cost? What does healthcare look like? And then educate yourself. Educate by researching. And then you also have to plan for emergencies. And then the other thing too is, if you want to continue to go to school, like, how much does it cost? How much is tuition? Would they let you go, as a foreigner? If you were in the process of getting your citizenship, residency, what does that look like? Okay, next slide. So let's talk about number one, real estate investing. So you can invest in real estate in Ghana. We have been helping people to do that for the last 3 years. One is by buying and flipping properties. You can do short-term rental, and you can also do long-term rental. People ask all the time, well, Makeda, if I buy something over here, can I rent it out for short-term rental? Absolutely, you can. But then people will ask me, well, can I rent it out for long-term rental? Well, it depends, because you have to know what local Ghanaians are able to afford when it comes to long-term rentals. And if they're not able to afford that, then you have to make sure that you are planning for, who is my ideal client, that if I buy this as an investment, who's going to be the one renting it out, leasing it, booking it, or whatever, to give you the sustainable income that you need in order to make sure that you have the revenue that you're looking for on a monthly basis. And then you can also look into real estate investment trusts, where you're investing in real estate trusts of properties that are already in Ghana. You can look into real estate crowdfunding, and so getting a group of investors and you're crowdfunding to get to a certain amount, and then maybe you go and you all buy a few units together. Maybe you buy a multifamily unit together. Look at agriculture land investment. Land investment is very important. I was on Earn Your Leisure YouTube channel the other day, and there was so many people that could not wrap their heads around leasehold and freehold. They could not wrap their mind around, wait a minute, I can buy the property, but I can't own the land. And then people were saying, oh, well, you can own it for 50 years. You can own it for 75 years. You can own it for 99 years. And I just basically said, please do not take legal advice from the comment section. Do not take legal advice from the comment section. Make sure you are on platforms like this, connecting to the real estate attorneys that are licensed in this country. When we sell real estate, people ask all the time, well, can I use my attorney here in the States if I'm buying over in Ghana? Yeah, you can use them to consult, but you can't use them to educate you and talk about your legal liability, and they're not versed in the law in Ghana. So make sure that you hire a lawyer that is from Ghana. Next slide, please. Okay, so I gave you the first one, real estate investing. Now, the second stream of income that you can have is real estate consulting, and then owning your own brokerage. So right now over in Ghana, you do not need a real estate license in order to sell real estate and earn commission, either as an affiliate or an unlicensed agent. However, I just want to make sure that I'm clear. There is laws on the books, but right now not being currently enforced, because they don't have someone, at least this is what I'm told, over that department to make sure that they enforce that law. So these countries that do not right now require you to have a license when it comes to earning commission and selling real estate, you want to make sure you are taking advantage of that now, because laws can always change from week to week, month to month, day to day, it can always change. And so make sure you learn the laws of these countries. What is it like for a foreigner to be able to open up a real estate brokerage over in Ghana? Look into what the cost is, and then how much can you make in the relationships that you want to build. You have to be on the ground. Yes, it's nice and cute to be able to say, I sell real estate in Ghana, but have you been to the location? Have you been in the country? Have you been able to mix and mingle with the people so that you can learn what is the culture? And so when we went in December, went in February, when we go back in 3 weeks, it's always about, okay, how do I learn more about the culture? So that's number 2. And then inside of your consultancy, when I talk about consulting, you can be a consulting firm, because people don't know what it means to invest over in Ghana. And so if you go and you get the knowledge yourself, now you can charge for consultations. If somebody want to meet with you for 30 minutes, they want to meet with you for an hour. Okay, charge $50 an hour, $100 an hour. When people, for me, if you go in my link on Instagram, my international real estate consultation for 60 minutes is $397. It was $497, but I brought it down because there's more people that are interested in international real estate. And I want to make sure that I'm accessible and that I'm getting the word out. So when you learn how to do real estate property tours, you can start charging for that. You can work with a developer and be able to earn commission directly working with the developer with a signed agreement that you have with them. You can work with people to sell land, but I'm going to put a disclaimer on it to make sure that you have some type of attorney involved, because there's too many nuances to buying land in Ghana. Thank you, Angela. And then you want to make sure that you hire. Now that was supposed to be the other hire. So hire the HIRE and train other agents to offer more, get more money in revenue. So imagine opening up a brokerage in Ghana, but then it's just you selling real estate. But when you begin to hire other agents and you train them, now they're out selling real estate, bringing in income into the firm. So it's just not you working. You have created your own distribution within your real estate brokerage. So that's number 2. Now let's go to the next slide, please. This is income strategy number 3. So people always ask, well, Makeda, if I buy over in Ghana, is there a property management company? Because I'm all the way over here in the States. How are we going to, have my properties to be managed? You can hire a property management company. So if you're moving over to Ghana and you're like, okay, what type of business can I create? The third one could be a property management service, to where you screen the tenants, you are inspecting the properties, you're helping with repair maintenance, you're collecting the rent, you're putting the properties on Airbnb and VRBO and all of the things. And then also short-term rental bookings, long-term bookings, property maintenance, marketing, and then the background and credit investigation. So that's stream number 3. Let's go to number 4. Next slide, please. So I hope that you are enjoying this and writing it down. Thank you so much, Angela. Okay, so number 4 is real estate marketing. If you know that you are great in marketing like moi, like myself, I can open up a real estate marketing firm. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be for real estate, but because we're talking about, real estate here, I wanted to add the word real estate. But marketing can be for any business. So it can be a restaurant that needs help with video, social media campaign. Maybe they need some drone shots of their actual business. And they also, you can have a content studio, because for those who may not know, I do plan on opening up content studios around the world, not just here in the United States, but around the world, because my job that God has mandated me with is to be able to show different people how they can earn in real estate. And one way is to make sure that you build your brand and what that looks like. So we're going to have constant content studios and rooms set up to where people can come in, take videos, take pictures, and create their brand. You can also use that content studio for podcasting. You can use it for content creation. If somebody wanted to record a commercial in your space, you already have that space available. So photography, you can create transcripts. What do I mean by that? Somebody doesn't have the gift of gab, and so they need to make sure that they have the words on a teleprompter, and you can create those words for them using AI. Hello, somebody. AI is making our lives easier. Somebody told me yesterday, when Makeda, AI has Chat GPT has become your best friend, because I renamed it Chatty. I was like, let me ask Chatty what my goal should be for the end of the year, and they were just cracking up. So Chat GPT has become Chatty to me. So you can also help them to create reels. You can write captions for them. You can write emails for them, and you can write blogs. So now what is this doing? This is helping you to create multiple streams of income, regardless to where you are in the world. And can I say that this is something that I've done with my own business, so that I knew that I would want to be in another state. So before I even thought about country, I knew that I did not want to stay just in Chicago and Illinois. So what I did was I began to position my business online and build up my audience online, so that regardless of if I move, because I wanted to move to Atlanta here in the States. And I said, if I move to Atlanta, I'm going to have to start over with my real estate clients. But if I create, this online, following, and it grows pretty large, it doesn't matter where I move in the States. But hello, somebody, God knew, right? Because now it's all over the country. So I can move to Dubai, I can move to Ghana, I can move to DR, and don't have to worry about where the income is going to come from, because I'm mobile, like I am remote. So next slide, please. I think I'm on income number 6. I didn't lost count. So remote work, freelancing. So you can create an account on Upwork. I was looking, somebody had reached out to me on Facebook, because people do solicit me based on what I'm doing. And he was a young boy. He looked like a young boy, but I was like, how old are you? Because he looked so young. I'm like, are you even legal to do this work? And so he was from Nigeria, and he was building websites. And I said, well, how do I know that if I paid you, that the work will actually get done? So he was on a platform that is called Upwork. He said, you pay Upwork, and Upwork will not pay me until you say that the work has been done, and then I can get my money. Well, y'all, he was charging $400 to do a website. Now, I was okay with the fact that he was charging $400. And I went back to my business partner. I said, oh, he said he can do a website for $400 for our investment club. She was like, no, that's too much, because she knows Nigeria and she knows people. And I said, well, you go and find somebody else. I said, but maybe I can recommend him for somebody else project, because I love the work ethic. I loved how young he was, and he was on Upwork. And he was like, ma'am, if I don't do the work, I won't get paid. Oh, how did I get muted? Can y'all hear me now? Okay. Um, Places like Upwork is a place where you can go to actually put your business online. You can find people to do work, and then you can put your work and your services on Upwork. You can also do the same for Fiverr as well. If you are good with graphics, good with creation, you can create a profile on Etsy and Creative Market, and you can sell your design work there. Am I giving you multiple streams of income? Yes. So next thing, website building. We talked about that. Virtual assistant. There are too many entrepreneurs around the world that needs help when it comes to assisting them virtually with admin work and all of the things. So you can create a business to where you are offering virtual assistant services. I have also saw people create VA businesses where they go and they find people in other countries, and they put together a VA business for people who need additional help, but not necessarily want to hire somebody full-time or part-time on their team. And so they will hire a virtual assistant. You can also consult. So we consult with people who are interested in moving international, investing international. And so we have consulting fees. You can do that too. And where can I do that from? From my phone, from my laptop. I do not have to be in one location in order to do that. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call the laptop lifestyle. Next slide. I think this is either 7 or number 8. Digital products. Digital products saved my life. When my son needed money for his tuition in college, I was like, oh Lord, what am I going to do? And so y'all know what I did? I created a course on Teachable, and I had a few agents to buy the course, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. If this works for these agents, let me do this again. And so I began to create courses, I think, until I had maybe 10 plus courses, and over a lifetime of maybe 5, 6 years, I was selling courses on Teachable. Now, what type of course have I created, y'all? How to sell international real estate, right? And so if you are somebody who learns a skill set, have a skill set, create a course. From that course, you can duplicate that and create an ebook. You can create a workbook out of that ebook. And then you can also do what, y'all? Create a journal from that ebook. When you think about somebody like Michelle Obama, I use that name because we all know it. Michelle Obama has her book Becoming, but y'all know what else she accompanied with that book? A journal. It's like a workbook. And so additional streams of income. I don't care, even if you are a lawyer on here, you can create a course for all type of things that people don't know. And you can, give your disclaimer. This is not detail. I don't represent you, but here's some information. So you can do that across multiple businesses. There is audiobooks that people are creating, uploading on Amazon. You can get paid for that. There's a site called Patreon where it's like you can create a podcast, some type of community on it, and you can charge different tiers. It's free for you to create your community, and then they just take a percentage of what you bring in. You can create a digital membership. I have a membership. Y'all know what it's around? International real estate. How can you sell in multiple countries? You can sell clip arts. You can sell digital prints. You can sell digital art. And y'all know what's popular? And you can make money on AI. My mentor, I said, you know what? I'm going to use AI to create an AI ebook. Okay, 5 more minutes. Okay, next slide. Thank you, lady. Next slide. So I think that's maybe number 9. Okay, so this could be number 10. I don't know. This may be number 9. Okay, exploring business. Okay, yep, that one. Exploring business opportunities beyond real estate. Look at e-commerce. If you are looking to sell t-shirts, you want to sell toasters, you want to sell handbags, clothes, you can go to places like Alibaba and do like some type of drop shipping and get like merchandise for really, really low price and sell it high. Hospitality, transportation services, chef services, because y'all, we just not sending people to stay in our Airbnbs no more. Sometimes they want chef services. Sometimes they want transportation services. So multiple streams of income. Okay, you can also be a tour guide. Next slide. Okay, selling international real estate, and then we're going to end it here. So selling international real estate, you can sell properties in multiple countries like Nigeria. I don't know why I don't have Ghana on here. I missed that one. So like Nigeria, Ghana, Dubai. Dubai is not a country, so I just want to make sure that everybody know that I am aware of that. UAE. Dominican Republic, no license is required. And I said also earlier that this can always change. You can get from low commission to high commission. I typically don't work with developers that pay very low commission anymore, because I know my worth. Thank you. I know my worth now. And so I have too much knowledge in these international real estate streets, not just in one country, but in multiple countries. And if you look on my page, I also put how we're selling international real estate across 3 continents. Who's doing that? Some people are doing it, and even more continents, but it's not a lot of people that's doing that. And so I have an advantage in the international real estate market to be able to do it. And then also earn before it closed. You can earn commission on these properties before they actually close. Last thing, earn in different countries. These are my 3 C's, y'all. I'm going to put this on a t-shirt. I'm going to write a book about it. I'm going to create a course about it. I'm going to have a workbook, a journal, all the things, multiple streams of income, practicing what I preach. Earn in different countries, continents, and currencies. Because as the world continues to grow and currencies change, you want to make sure that you are earning in multiple countries and continents and currencies. Next slide. Okay, so this is how you could be selling real estate. This is what savvy chicks in real estate do. And so for me, we went from the United States to the Dominican Republic to Ghana to Egypt to Dubai to Greece to Indonesia to Maldives, that now there is no country that is off limits to us because we serve a big, amazing God. And what I was told is that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I'm going to do all things according to how he leads me. I can't do everything, but I can do all things through him for how he leads me. And so right now he has led me into international territories. It has not always been nice and it has not always been pretty. And even today, I can tell you that it can be hard. However, I know that it is my calling and nothing would keep me from my calling. Nothing would keep me from my destiny. So this is how you could be selling international real estate all over the world. And if you are somebody who wants to build in Ghana, I just gave you 10 different multiple streams of income to bring you revenue so you can have peace of mind while you build. I think that's it. Anything on the next slide? Okay, that's it. All right, any questions?
I think we had a question in the chat.
Okay.
I think it's from Arthur. What is this targeted towards Makeda? I'm sure it is, but he asked, what are the banking financing options with foreign investors access, with foreign investors can access? I was told the process is time consuming and lengthy. What are the bank financing options with foreign investors can access?
It can be lengthy. It can be time consuming. When I have showed international real estate investors the difference between paying a cash payment plan, and basically what that means is that you put up maybe 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 to reserve your unit. Once you reserve your unit, and I'm talking about off-plan properties, when you reserve your unit, then you have a 30-day due diligence process to your next deposit, which could be 10%, 20%, depending on your payment plan. So for me, I always show two different options of what it looks like for a cash payment plan and then what it looks like if somebody insists on getting finances. When I show them that financing is 13%, 14, 15%, they're like, oh, no, I don't want to pay all of that extra hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'll take the payment plan. Payment plan me, please. And so they will pick the payment plan over the financing, but it does not mean financing is not there. I also want to add that from when I started this process 3 years ago, now today, there are more private lenders, more banks, even here in the States, that are opening up to say, and we do have one that now she's lending in the Dominican Republic, in Dubai, South Africa, Ghana, all the popular places. But I forget what credit score you have to have. I think it has to be maybe 620, 640 or above. But if you reach out to me, I can connect you with that person. But everybody is changing. And so even though there are some people who are willing to lend to you, there are others that you can go in with somebody, like grab some friends, families. And that's what I was talking about, like crowdfunding. People may want to invest into what it is that you're buying in Ghana so that you don't have to come out of your pocket with all of the money.
I hope that answers your question. I also have a question, and that is mainly for an age bracket. So basically, I am 25 and you gave me 10 streams of income, right? So now I want to know, is there like a certain age bracket and a certain amount that I should use when like investing? If so, obviously, if I'm 25, the norm is that you will not be making a certain amount of income. So which type of job or investment do you think will be suitable for my age bracket?
So I would say first, you have to write out what does the plan look like so you can see which route you need to go. So for an example, I have an investor that has properties as low as 50,000. The 50,000 is a studio unit in Ghana. And the 50,000 is in East Legon. But then when you do the work, you do the math, in the area, studio units are going for like 70,000 or more. So already there's equity there, but because the property has not been built, you don't have it like right now to be able to flip it. However, if you take, I'm just using as an example, that 50,000, you know that you need 50,000 to be able to buy it outright. But if you need $3,000 down, looking at what the payment plan, let's say the payment plan is maybe $2,000 or $1,000 per month in order to be able to do that. If you know you need 50, okay, if I was, for an example, had to create a course and the course was $500, I'm just throwing a number out there. The course was $500. How many of those courses do I need to sell in order to be able to get or make $5,000? Or to be able to at least put my down payment, have maybe 6 months saved up so that you can make the monthly payments. What do I need to do and how much do I need to have? So start with the dollar amount first, and then take that and invest it in an actual project and see how much will you be able to make once the property is built, because you can flip, y'all. You can flip new construction. You don't have to keep it forever. And so just depending on what you want to do. The other thing too, that I think that would be good for you at your age, and how I already seen you carry yourself, and even looking on your social media page, I think that you would be great for somebody to consult with real estate, because let me just talk about the power that y'all have in Ghana. Okay. Y'all live there. You live there in Ghana. So you know about the culture, you know about all the hot spots, you know where the tourists go, you know where the locals hang out. Create a resource guide and say, if you're looking to move to Ghana, I got this resource guide is $20 for you to be able, and when you create your reels, Lady D, you can say, okay, type the word or comment the word playbook. And maybe that can be your Ghana playbook that you create, because you got the juice that everybody want to know, because now people are really, really looking at Ghana, and you know that they're coming in December. So I would create something that could say like all the hot spots that you should visit during Dirty December is $10. Like, begin to use the knowledge and resource that you have, because God placed you there. He birthed you there. So use what you have in order to be able to make money. Remember, he has given us the power to be able to produce wealth.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
That was good. Look, multiple streams of income is no longer optional. It is a necessity. So thank you for putting us on that, Makeda. That was powerful. We do have another question. It says, how can I stay informed to international listings from Makeda's firm? I might be looking at Belize in the near future.
And we got somebody in Belize. Hello. So I would say follow me on social media. So it's Makeda Smith. You know what? I put the wrong, I'll drop it in the comments, but it's Makeda Smith Global, because I changed my name from Makeda Smith CEO to Makeda Smith Global, because I'm doing all things global. So you can find me there. You can also find me at Savvy Chicks in Real Estate on Instagram, but I'm everywhere, Makeda Smith Global, on all platforms.
Perfect. Be sure to connect with Makeda. Makeda Smith Global, at Makeda Smith Global. So we do have one more question. It's L joint ventures with local developers. How will that work?
Okay, Chrissy, I don't know if it was my internet, but you broke up. What did you say?
So L joint ventures, how does that work with developers?
What does that mean? How does what work with developers?
Can you expound on your question?
Oh, okay. Okay, he didn't give you more. Okay.
Yes, it just says L joint ventures with local developers. How would that work? So
I'm not sure what he means by that, because I can go in a whole bunch of different directions of like how would it work with local developers. Okay. But if he wants to reach out to me directly or just hang on, we do have Q&A coming up, so I can answer then.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. Well, if no other questions, thank you so much, Makeda. That was very good, very, very good. Thank you so much.
Very good. And I especially liked her quote, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And it's something that is very important with everything. We need to involve God because He's going to show us the way on how to move, what to do, have the spirit of discernment in moving forward. And yes, Makeda, thank you so much.